All right, your boy, I'm back. You see me, you see the book. So listen, I'm finna read this verse to y'all. It's Psalms 37:4. I got in my phone. I want y'all to listen. Pay attention. What we said, what he said. Delight yourself in the Lord. We're gonna stop right there. So now I'm finna read the second part of the verse. And he will give you the desires of your heart. The problem that we're having, not God, just us. He ain't got no problems. He good. He understands what's going on. We only adhere to the second part of the verse. See, we ain't worried about delighting ourselves in his will, in his presence. We ain't worried about having conversations with God. We ain't worried about being in prayer. We ain't worried about fasting. We ain't worried about fellowshipping with his people. We ain't worried about even encouraging nobody to even come to God or try to lift them up or even just pray for them. Sometimes we could be like the book of Esther. We could talk all about God and never say his name and be the blessing that he called us to be. Forgive me for that. Called us to be. The thing we need to focus on is the desires of our heart. He said, but I want to say it's in Jeremiah. I can't say exactly what he said. The heart above all things is deceitful. So if he's going to give you the desires of your heart, but you got to delight yourself in him first. Desires of your heart, but delight in God. Desires of your heart, but delight in God. If you delight in God, your heart is going to change. See, if your heart changes because you've delighted in him, the desires of your heart are going to change. The things that we thought were so imperative or so important aren't going to be as important anymore. He even said this in Matthew. I want to say, Jesus told me, he said, it's going to be discord in your own house, in your own household, because you being saved, because you really commit and say, okay, I need to live this way for real. Not talk about it, not pretend it, but really live out the life that God has for me. Things are going to be rough. The things you're going to have to, don't worry about the storm. Because either you're going in, you're in the storm, or you're coming out. But he's going to provide the way. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And I've said this so many times, but it's true. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So in other words, while you walk through, you think you're going to let you go by yourself? My shana not like that going crazy. You ain't going by yourself. What is they thinking? The thing is, when you start to truly delight yourself in God, let me ask you something. What thing appeals to you the most? What gravitates you? What grabs you and make you be like, ooh, if I had this, if I had that. See, this is the thing about it. You have that same tenacity for God. Ooh, if I'm living for God like that. Ooh, if I'm loving people the way God want me to love. Even when people say stuff about me, I have to learn how to humble myself. He said, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face. See, there's things that are requirements. He's giving you the requirements and he's showing you the path. The thing is, we still want desires of our heart. But if our hearts are not for God, what kind of desires do you really have? I want y'all to ponder on that one for a minute, because that one caught me off guard too. He just dropped, bam, right in my shot out there, all out the blue. You know what I'm saying? If your heart is not for God, what kind of desires do you really have? Let that, that one gotta, let that resonate, let that marinate for me, like, ooh, just stir it up a little bit. Just stir it up a little bit. Ooh, that's gonna get good later on to you. So like the pastor said Sunday, he said something that made a lot of sense. You know, I love my pastor, them, you know what I'm saying? I like 4 flat tires on a pickup, real life. But he said there are God's people, and then there are churchgoers. Y'all might not have caught that. I'm gonna say it one more time, but I ain't gonna elaborate. I want y'all to think about that. There's God's people, then there's churchgoer. You want to be God's people, because if you really pay attention, his people really are succeeding. They really are successful, because the thing is, their hands are always like this. Their hands are always open. They're always willing to give. They ain't grabbing, holding everything to their chest. Whatever God's giving them, they have no problem giving back, because you can't outgive him. So listen, when you start to delight yourself in the Lord, then and only then will he give you the desires of your heart, because your heart has been transformed to a heart for God. I want y'all to think about that. Think about it. And always let that sink in. It's your boy. Peace.